What's going on, YouTube? It is Wrestling Fan Randy. My name is Randy. This is where you get your latest reviews about wrestling and Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, everything you need to really know about wrestling. But we're gonna get into Monday Night Raw. January 13th, the edition of Monday Night Raw, the second episode on Netflix ever. To get it started, we got to talk about CM Punk. CM Punk coming out and talking about, he has heard that people have declared for the Royal Rumble, but he officially declares himself for the Royal Rumble. He says, he feels good that he beat, Seth Rollins, and that's behind him. And then out of nowhere, he's just about like he's saying, "Oh, hit my music," and then Seth Rollins actually comes out, and then he makes a joke about, "Oh, it's Rhea Ripley behind me." So Seth Rollins comes out, and he has like a shiner on his eye for real. Like he really got hit by the GTS by CM Punk last week, and Seth Rollins and CM Punk, we know that's not going to be done. Like, we know it. Come on. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, I don't think that's going to be done. I think CM Punk and Seth Rollins is going to lead to a bigger program down the road. Going into WrestleMania, maybe that will be the WrestleMania match. Who knows? I mean, they can go many ways about it. But CM Punk is going to be a very, very interesting character going into WrestleMania and the road to WrestleMania, because apparently he has a favor, that with Paul Heyman. So you got to talk about that favor. You got to get that favor somehow, either by WrestleMania or after WrestleMania. But that favor has to be important. So what is going to be that favor? What is CM Punk going to cash? When is CM Punk going to cash in that favor? I don't know. But I will say CM Punk is a very, very big part of WWE right now. And I'm very, very happy he is. I've always been a CM Punk fan. So let's talk about Seth Rollins, though. Seth Rollins came out, and he basically said, "I'm a man of my word. You beat me, but I'm still here, and I'm still standing, and I'm still, not done with you. And at the end of the day, I'm going to declare myself for the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to win the Royal Rumble." So Seth Rollins saying he's going to win the Royal Rumble, CM Punk saying he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and then, you have Drew McIntyre come out. Drew McIntyre comes out. And Drew McIntyre, CM Punk is like, "Oh my goodness, not this again." And then CM Punk is like, "You want me to beat you up again? You can come into this ring." Drew McIntyre is saying, "You're so selfish. You're so selfish." He didn't say a name, but then CM Punk is like, "Oh, if you want to go, you want to go." And then he's like, "Nobody was talking about you, Punk. I'm talking about Seth Rollins and his selfishness." So Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins are going to have a match next week on Monday Night Raw. And I feel like Drew McIntyre, he basically said, "Oh, you were busy with CM Punk last week and you didn't help with the Roman Reigns situation." So the fact that Drew McIntyre is still on this Roman Reigns situation, and then you got Kevin Owens, who's on SmackDown, is on the Roman Reigns, hate bandwagon. It's just hilarious to see, because he's talking some truth. Seth Rollins didn't get involved in any Roman Reigns business when it came to the tribal combat, and now Roman Reigns has that tribal, has the Uafala, so now he's the tribal chief again. So this is why that is very, very important. Now, Drew McIntyre said, CM Punk and Seth Rollins are like, "You want to go right now? We can go." Drew McIntyre's like, "I'm not fighting you. I don't want to fight you. I'm not trying to fight right now." And then, basically, that's kind of how the segment ended, and it was a pretty good segment. I like what they did here. I like that they talked about, the Royal Rumble. Obviously, CM Punk talked about John Cena, Roman Reigns. He didn't really mention Roman Reigns that much, but I will say CM Punk said he wants to win the Royal Rumble, and he wants to be in the main event of WrestleMania, of course. But now you got Seth Rollins, you got CM Punk, you got John Cena, you got Roman Reigns, you got Drew McIntyre, all declared, and apparently LA Knight as well, all declared for the Royal Rumble. So at the end of the day, that is great. That is good that this Royal Rumble is getting stacked up. I like that, because it's going to be unpredictable. We're not going to know what's going to happen. And that's going to be very, very interesting, because now you got CM Punk. Now you got John Cena. Now you got Roman Reigns. It's definitely going to be very, very interesting. So I like what they're doing here. You know, they're giving these players all this time to declare for the Royal Rumble. That's pretty cool. But the CM Punk situation, it definitely, like, I don't know, man. To me, as a CM Punk fan, I hated when he got hurt last year. I really did. And he got hurt at the Royal Rumble, and he tore his tricep, and it really sucked. But he came back. He did a program with Drew McIntyre. And ever since then, he has been really a fan favorite when it comes to the fans love CM Punk. The fans love CM Punk. Whether Seth Rollins says truth about him leaving the company, the fans love CM Punk. I love CM Punk. I think CM Punk has always been one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. And at the end of the day, I want CM Punk to get in that main event slot. I want CM Punk to win the championship at the end of the day. Whether it is the Universal Championship, whether it is the World Championship, I think CM Punk should be a champion after WrestleMania. That's what I think. But at the end of the day, I like Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble, and all these guys have something to stand on when it comes to winning the Royal Rumble. Now let's get into what I want to get into next, and that is Chad Gable. Chad Gable versus the Mystery Luchador. Who's going to be the Mystery Luchador? Obviously, we all know it's Penta. It's the worst kept secret in WWE because you can't really keep that a secret. Penta's one of the biggest free agents, to come to WWE in some time. And Penta is here. He comes out with all his gear. He does the Cero, Mero, whatever. He does what he needs to do. And Penta and Chad Gable have a match, and it was a pretty good match. I like that this wasn't like a squash match, Like I like that this was actually a match because you have a 3-hour show. You have to fill it somehow, right? You have to fill it somehow. And what I will say is Penta, man, he showed so much emotion, man. I really liked what I heard from Penta after the match, but during the match, he was, Chad Gable was doing what he does. He was working on his leg. He was working, and we saw some Penta moves. We saw the high, what's it called? Not springboard, but he went, he basically dove on top of the ropes and did, a nice move there against Chad Gable. I think Penta is first of all, he looks great. Penta looks great. And he's a weird luchador. He's different. He's not like Rey Mysterio. He's not like Sin Cara. He's not like Dragon Lee. He's a little bit different. He's bigger. He's stronger. And I really like that his family was there. They had a good match. At the end of the day, Penta had, he did his thing. But what I want to talk about is the promo after. Penta won the match, with a nice finishing move. They call it the Penta driver or the Penta something like that. And it was a nice move. It wasn't really like a power driver like he does, like he did in the when he wrestled with AEW or when he wrestled with Lucha Underground. But what I will say is Penta is here, and that is very, very exciting. But what I want to talk about is his promo after. His promo after saying, everybody's happy. And what I want to talk about is the crowd was behind him completely. The crowd was saying, this is awesome. This is awesome. Holy shit. Holy shit. It was a beautiful, beautiful moment for Penta, honestly, because the fans were behind him completely. And when you think of a guy like Penta, yes, he's known, but did you think that the United States, crowd was going to know him as much as they did? Well, they definitely did. San Jose came out to play, and they were cheering Penta on. He was doing his moves. He did everything that he can, and it was a good match. But Penta, after the match, he just showed so much emotion. He said, we know that this is the Netflix era, but this is, something, and I know everybody has been waiting for this moment, but I, Penta, have been waiting for this moment. And he showed so much emotion by that, and I honestly loved it. I loved it so much. I think Penta showing that emotion helps him out so much. It really does. The crowd was already behind him, but now you want to cheer this guy even more. So Penta, obviously he's going to be a babyface. and he's going to be a singles wrestler, I believe. And I think Penta is going to be a star when it comes to WWE. WWE has been waiting or looking for that Spanish international star. And is it going to be Penta? Maybe. It could be. At the end of the day, Penta is a really, really big signing. And WWE made it known. This is one of the biggest signings. And I love it. I honestly do. I love that he showed emotion. I love that he hugged his family. I love that his family was crying. You know, it was all beautiful at the moment. It was all beautiful. But what I really, hate to talk about is Chad Gable losing again. Chad Gable. This guy just keeps losing and losing and losing matches. And to me, I feel like Chad Gable is above that, man. I like Chad Gable a lot. He's a good talent. But what I will say is, I thought the heel turn for Chad Gable was going to be what he needed. But I feel like, honestly, Triple H made a mistake. Triple H made a mistake with this heel turn because it's not doing nothing for him. Chad Gable was a great babyface. Obviously when he was facing Gunther, I wanted Chad Gable to get that win over Gunther instead of Sami Zayn. I did. I felt like that would have been a better story than Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn is so great on his own that he's a great babyface. He's one of the best baby faces there is in this company. And he can get you behind him so easily. For real. But what I will say is Chad Gable, I want to see him do more. I want to see him win matches. I don't want to see this guy just lose and lose and lose and lose. I feel like Chad Gable is above this. And with the Creed brothers and him, I thought that was going to be a great fit. And it really hasn't. It hasn't made him better. This Chad Gable, as a heel, I thought it was going to work, but it's not really working. Or you're not booking him well. Triple H is not booking him how he needs to be booked. Because Chad Gable is awesome. Chad Gable is awesome. And I like that this wasn't a squash match with Penta. It wasn't a squash match. But at the end of the day, I want Chad Gable to be successful. And yeah, I know he's on TV. That's an accomplishment itself. If he's on TV, if he has TV time, then that's great. But Chad Gable is better than this. That's honestly how I feel. That Chad Gable is better than this. Let's talk about the next match, and that's gonna be let's talk about the Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins backstage segment. So Seth Rollins was walking backstage, and we hear from Kathy Kelly that Seth Rollins, we hear from Seth Rollins that was interviewed by Kathy Kelly saying, how do you what's going on? I heard you went to Adam Pearce. So yeah, Seth Rollins is going to face Drew McIntyre next week. I think that's going to be a good match. I think we haven't really seen Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins in a little bit, and I kind of like that. I do like that. So I feel like that would be a kind of a fresh match in a way. But Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins, I like it. I think that's going to be good. And then you see Sami Zayn, go to Seth Rollins, talk about, oh, I'm sorry that you lost, man. I'm here for you. At the end of the day, I'm here for you. And then Seth Rollins is like, oh, you're here for me. Seth Rollins is like, you had a pretty good night, right? You had a pretty good night. Your boy won, right? Your boy won. Your boy is now, back into his power. He's now the tribal chief. And he was saying this to Sami Zayn. Seth Rollins was saying that to Sami Zayn. And he was like, oh, you should be happy. Like, your boy is finally back in power. What are you going to do now? You're going to help him win the Royal Rumble? You're going to help him win the World Championship? And then Sami Zayn just stood quiet. He was like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, kind of doesn't know what to say. And I feel like that was a good segment because Seth Rollins, I like that he's staying on this, I don't like Roman Reigns. I hate Roman Reigns. I don't want to see Roman Reigns in power. Now you have three guys that hate Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, a hater. Kevin Owens hates Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins hates Roman Reigns. So I like that you are, basically Seth Rollins telling Sami Zayn, "Oh, what? You're gonna help out your boy? Like you're gonna help him out?" And Sami Zayn just stood quiet, like I don't know what to really say because he doesn't know what to say. He really doesn't. So like I don't know where Sami Zayn goes from here. I don't know if he's gonna be in this bloodline story even more or less. But we did see him come out with Jimmy Uso last week, and so it seems like he's still a part of it. And I don't know if Roman Reigns winning the Uafala, that makes it seem like, oh, he's done with Roman Reigns. He doesn't need to help him anymore. I don't know. But I like Sami Zayn. Whatever Sami Zayn does is going to be good because he can just naturally get you behind him. He's one of the best baby faces there is in this company. And I really do really do like Sami Zayn. Now let's talk about Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus, man. Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser was a good match. Braun Breaker was first of all sitting close to the fans, which I feel like is weird. Braun Breaker just sitting with the fans rather than sitting in the announcement table. I don't know if they don't have a chair for like the announcement table. I don't know why now you're going to have superstars like in the ringside, like with the fans. It's kind of weird to me. But what I will say is Sheamus had a good match. Ludwig Kaiser, he had a pretty good showing, but Sheamus won. We kind of all knew that Sheamus was going to win. Sheamus wants to win the Intercontinental Championship because he's never won it. He's never won it. So, Braun Breaker was at ringside. Sheamus won. Sheamus, it was a number one contenders match. So Sheamus is gonna face Braun Breaker apparently at Saturday's night main event. Now I didn't even know the Saturday night main event was going to be a thing. I didn't know that was gonna. I thought that was like a one-off. I didn't know that this was gonna continue. But apparently January 25th, Saturday main event is gonna be on NBC. It's gonna be on Peacock. And listen, that's good. I thought that I thought it was just gonna be for one night, but they're bringing it back, which is cool. But what I will say is, Braun Breaker against Sheamus, I think that's gonna be a good match. I think that's gonna be a good match. Braun Breaker is so talented, man, and I don't want to see him lose the title. So I don't know whether what happens with Sheamus, what happens with Braun Breaker. But I don't want to see Braun lose the title. And I want to see Braun, first of all, get more TV time than he did last week and this week. Because Braun is pretty good at promos. Braun is really good. He's getting better each day. He's getting better each week. He is very, very talented. And to me, Braun Breaker is your your IC champion. So why, for 2 weeks in a row, you haven't really have him talk or have a match on the show? And this is Monday Night Raw. So it kind of is what it is at this point. But Sheamus and Braun Breaker, that's going to be a good match, I think. I don't give Sheamus the win, though. I want Braun Breaker to win. I don't feel like Sheamus... You can do a story here. You can do a story. Sheamus hasn't won the championship. So you can do a story and have Sheamus beat Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. There's a story there that you can do, that you can tell. Will they do that? I have faith in Triple H to do that. Now let's talk about the next thing. And that is Gunther. Gunther, the world champion of Monday Night Raw, comes out. And he comes out looking like a beast. First of all, looking like a beast. He's in like a suit. And it was great to see Gunther. He talks about, him being the best. Him, but him feeling like the performers on Monday Night Raw last week didn't do enough. They weren't They didn't do it for him. And then you got Jey Uso that comes out, and then Jey Uso comes out. First of all, he comes out to a great ovation. The fans are behind Jey Uso. I'm behind Jey Uso, but I feel like there's something missing with Jey Uso, and I don't know exactly what that is. But Jey Uso's missing something, and I hope that he can find it. Because I think he's one finisher away, one change of gimmick away from being a real main event superstar. To me, Jey Uso is not there yet. Is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. You know, it's kind of hard for a tag team wrestler to just become a singles wrestler, out of nowhere. It's not going to be an easy adjustment. But Jey Uso has made it pretty good, pretty decent. But what I will say is Gunther and Jey Uso. Apparently, Jey Uso comes out. He basically says, I respect you, but I'm going to have a match with, I want to have a match with you at Saturday's main event, for the World Championship. Because the bloodline is behind me. Drew McIntyre is behind me. So I want to focus on that. I want to focus on winning the World Championship and be the main event, Jey Uso. And then Gunther's just like laughing. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, you serious? Like, he's like, you're entertaining. But you can't hang with me in the ring. I already beat you twice for the, when I was the IC champion. And those are great points by Gunther. Those are really great points. So at the end of the day, you have Gunther against Jey Uso. That's cool. But it's like it comes out of nowhere. This Jey Uso, Gunther, I get it. You have Saturday's main event coming January 25th. But this whole match is coming out of nowhere. So what's really going to happen here? What, Jey Uso's going to be in a program with Gunther and just lose again? Now, Gunther doesn't really have, opponents to really face at the moment. He beat Damon Priest. I don't want to see Gunther against Damon Priest again. Well, actually, I'm not going to say I don't want to see it because I think they had a good match. But I feel like Jey Uso against Gunther, it'll be a good match, but Gunther's better, and he knows it. So I guess Gunther is like, yeah, you're basically a joke. Like, you're entertaining, you're a tag team wrestler trying to be a single wrestler. That's all he really sees. And Jey Uso's like, oh, I'm serious. I want to face you at Saturday's main event, and I'm going to beat you for the title. And to me, it's just not as believable. I don't know. With Jey Uso, there's something missing. That's my opinion at the end of the day. So that's going to be a match January 25th, Saturday's main event. Now let's talk about the next thing. That is Rhea Ripley coming out. Rhea Ripley looking like a freaking badass. Mommy's back on top. She comes out and she does her thing. And then you have Nia Jax that comes out. For some reason, talking about the transfer pool and talking about she's going to win the Royal Rumble, she's going to face Rhea Ripley, or she's going to face Tiffy, whatever. And then you got Bayley in the ringside again. This ringside, I don't know what, this is a new thing that they're doing on Raw. They're having these superstars at ringside. Bayley's just there. Bayley's a SmackDown superstar, so why is she there? Who knows? But apparently that's her hometown. So it to me it was weird. Like Bayley, Nia Jax is talking about, oh, I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble, whatever. That's not weird. That's not gonna. But Bayley being there was weird. So that's gonna be, I guess, I don't know. Bayley started to beat up Nia Jax headbutts Bailey. And then Rhea tries to get involved. Nia Jax headbutts Rhea. And then she's trying to beat up Rhea. And then you have Bailey come behind, hit the leg, and then they both just kick Nia Jax out the ring. To me, it was a weird segment and kind of a blah segment. Like, not really that entertaining. Not really that great. I'm still waiting on the Becky Lynch return. That could come at Royal Rumble. But to me, that just wasn't it. I don't know. That segment just wasn't it. And then you got Sami Zayn beating The Miz in a match. And apparently, Sami Zayn won with the Blue Thunder Bomb, which is his signature, not his finisher. So that kind of makes it, The Miz, look really bad. Sami Zayn looks strong there, but winning with the Blue Thunder Bomb was something. And then you got, first of all, apparently some news that the Wyatt family is moving on to SmackDown. That's a rumor that they're going to be on SmackDown now. So what does this do for The Miz and Karrion Kross? I don't know. And now let's get to the next thing, and that's going to be the match with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. First of all, it was a good match. At the end of the day, it was a good match. But I'm tired of Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I'm tired of the whole Judgment Day, the Finn Balor trying to get back at Damian Priest over and over and over again. And I hope that this match just finishes this feud, because I'm tired of it. I don't want to see Damian Priest against Finn Balor. It was a good match because Finn Balor is good. Damian Priest is good. But Damian Priest won. It was a good match. They had a good spot at outside of the ring, on the rail. Then they did like a suplex to the table. That was good. But like, what I did like, though, is at the end of the match when he hit his finisher, Damian Priest, he said, "I am not my brother's keeper." I thought that was important, because it's like saying, I don't need you, and I never did. I don't need you anymore. So that's what's going to happen. I guess Damian Priest is going to be away. He's not going to focus on Finn Balor anymore. Finn Balor's not going to focus on Damian Priest. I mean, you hope that's the case. I really do hope that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. But that's basically going to be your Monday Night Raw review. It was a good Raw. I don't think it was a bad Raw. I don't think it was as good as last week. But I'll give it like a B- of a show. It was a good show. Wasn't a bad show. And I just hope that Damian Priest, I don't know what he does next. Because he already went, to face Gunther twice. He didn't win because Finn Balor got involved twice. So you could do you could do Damian Priest and Gunther again, and have Gunther and I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't really know what you want to do with Damian Priest, but I do like Damian Priest. I think he's a good superstar. I think he has charisma. I think he has the look. He just has to get away from this Judgment Day business. But what does he do next? I don't know. That's going to be your Monday Night Raw review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I feel like it was a good show. I don't hate the show. And they did some things, I really like the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins promos. I really like that. I like what I saw from Gunther looking like a badass, because that's what I want. I don't want him to look like a little punk when he was facing Damian Priest, in that feud. I don't want that. So I like that Gunther's looking strong. I like that Gunther is talking strong,
because he should be talking like he's the shit. So at the end of the day, that's going to be your review. Hopefully you enjoyed. And yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next Monday for another review, or, you know, the night after Monday Night Raw. And yeah, man, WWE is looking awesome right now. Netflix is a great pickup. I love it. SmackDown, you know, has been cool too. And WWE is on fire right now, man. This is the road to WrestleMania. We got a lot of exciting episodes to come. And yeah, man, hopefully you guys are on the ride with me. And I appreciate you guys for watching and taking the time out of your day to watch me. You guys are awesome. Have a good one. And yeah, man, wrestling is awesome.